Words that make rude people regret it. Secrets from Stoic philosophy. Imagine facing a rude person. They provoke, mock, and try to push your buttons. Their goal? To make you lose your cool. To trap you in their emotional game. But here's the secret. You don't have to play along. Instead of getting angry or arguing, you can respond with sharp, calm words that leave them speechless and regretting ever crossing you. Here are 7 powerful comebacks, inspired by Stoic philosophy, that let you take control and make rude people think twice. 1. You're entitled to your opinion, and I'm entitled to ignore it. This is a subtle yet devastating blow. When someone tries to belittle you, mocking your dreams, job, or choices, just smile and say this. It's not an attack, nor is it emotional. It's a declaration that their words hold no value in your world. Why it works. Rude people want you to argue, to prove yourself. When you dismiss them, you strip away what they crave most, attention. I once used this with an old friend who scoffed at a project I poured my heart into. Instead of explaining, I said, "You're entitled to your opinion, and I'm entitled to ignore it." He was speechless, and I knew I'd won. When to use it. When a colleague disrespects your ideas, when a family member judges your lifestyle, or when someone tries to make you feel small, let them know their opinion isn't worth your time. 2. If I got $1 for every smart thing you said, I'd be broke. This comeback is both humorous and cutting. Like a punch wrapped in velvet. It makes the rude person realize their words aren't just meaningless, they make them look foolish. Why it works. Rude people often think they're clever when they mock others. This line flips the script, exposing the emptiness of their words. I used it once during a group chat when someone kept interrupting me with sarcastic jabs. I replied, "If I got $1 for every smart thing you said, I'd be broke." The group laughed, and the guy went silent. When to use it. When someone keeps throwing worthless jabs, or when a colleague tries to seem smart but contributes nothing. Show them their words aren't worth a cent. 3. I don't argue with people who thrive on disrespect. This isn't just a comeback, it's a statement of power. It shows you see through their game. They're not looking for debate, they just want to hurt you. And you refuse to play. Why it works. This line calls out their behavior directly, leaving them no room to respond. I once faced a coworker who loved belittling others in meetings. When he tried to dismiss my idea, I said, "I don't argue with people who thrive on disrespect." The room went quiet, and he never tried it again. When to use it. When someone provokes you, when a relative keeps putting you down, or when a stranger tries to drag you into drama. Cut their game short before it starts. 4. Your attitude won't get you far in life. This is a wake-up call, not just a comeback. It reminds the rude person that their behavior isn't strength, it's a path to failure. Why it works. Rude people mistake arrogance for confidence. This line forces them to face reality. No one respects someone who disrespects others. I said this to a coworker who was always condescending. After he attacked a teammate, I replied, "Your attitude won't get you far in life." He smirked, but I saw unease in his eyes. Months later, he was passed over for a promotion. When to use it. When a colleague acts superior. When a family member puts others down. Or when a stranger behaves rudely in public. Remind them their actions have consequences. 5. This conversation was over before it started. This is a decisive strike. Like slamming a door in the rude person's face. It declares that you don't even see them as a worthy opponent. Why it works. Rude people want to drag you into a fight. When you refuse to engage, you take away their power. I used this with a coworker who criticized everything. When he mocked my idea, I said, "This conversation was over before it started." He was stunned, and I carried on as if he didn't exist. When to use it. When someone baits you into a pointless argument. When an acquaintance is negative. Or when a stranger insults you. Show them they're not worth your time. 6. Thanks for your input. I'll forget it immediately. This is a proud, stinging comeback. Like a light slap that leaves the rude person speechless. It shows you're not just ignoring them. You're not letting their words linger in your mind for even a second. Why it works. Rude people want their words to haunt you. This line shatters that illusion, showing they have no influence. I used it with a relative who criticized my career. When they sneered, I said, "Thanks for your input. I'll forget it immediately." They awkwardly changed the topic. And I knew I'd won when to use it. When a colleague criticizes your ideas. When an acquaintance is negative. Or when a stranger tries to insult you. Show them their words aren't worth remembering. 7. You seem very committed to making a fool of yourself. This is a brutal yet effective line. It turns the tables, making the rude person realize they're the one looking foolish. Why it works. Rude people think they're in control. This line forces them to see that everyone's laughing at them. Not you. I used it with a friend who loved to mock others. When he tried to humiliate me in front of a group, I said, "You seem very committed to making a fool of yourself." The group roared, and he went quiet. When to use it. When someone attacks you in front of others. When a colleague tries to seem smart by putting you down. Or when a stranger acts ridiculous. Let them face their own absurdity. Final thought. The power of calm. Stoic philosophy teaches us that true strength lies not in shouting louder or arguing fiercely, but in calm and self-control. Rude people only win when you let them drag you down to their level. But when you respond with sharp, composed, and confident words, you don't just make them regret it, you prove you're on a different level entirely. Remember, you don't need to stoop low to handle rude people. Just smile, deliver a line that silences them, and walk away with pride. Because in the end, the loser isn't you, it's them. The ones digging their own graves with their disrespect. Are you ready to make rude people regret crossing you? Try these lines and watch the magic happen.